Would you mind going into a little more detail on the hibernation phase that you said, where you sort of just like step back from it? I'm working with a company now, and this past year, we didn't have any sales in like our primary source of like revenue, and so it's sort of I guess we're kind of in that kind of period now, inadvertently, just not really doing anything. But like, is there any sort of advice that you'd have to like approaching that?
Well, my reason for doing it was multifold. One was we didn't have the money. We basically took part of our initial investment to purchase the components to build 200 of our goes. So we had kind of a chunk of our money, our starting capital, tied up in working capital to get from them home. And we didn't have any money to reorder any parts whatsoever. So we had 200 goes worth of parts sitting in a building. And we knew that if we did score a win with a retailer, let's say that REI said they wanted to carry it and they wanted to order 400, we would basically blow that chance with REI. So we said we're not going there. We're going to really focus on whatever it is we do. We want to do it really well and really please the customer. So we knew that we could sell one to Jane Doe or something, here and there, and make them really happy. That was within our control. So in other words, we kept things within our control. That was the conscious part of that, was recognizing our limitations and trying to figure out what the long-term plan was and driving towards that. And at the time, got to be honest, my long-term plan wasn't to start a factory in Brevard, North Carolina. It was to sell this concept to somebody that I could recover the initial investment at a minimum and maybe make a little money, but ideally just recover the investment, pay off any debt we had at the time, and go do something else. So I was really trying to position it more from the standpoint of being a marketable concept to a bigger company. And when it was clear that that wasn't going to happen, because with every passing day, sort of the clock is ticking and the goals aren't being accomplished, and the marketability of the concept is degrading with every passing day, then it became a decision, well, make them or shut it down. And I thought, well, I've never made anything this complex before. It's kind of fun to be an adventure, and I have nothing better to do, and how else am I going to stay in Brevard? So it's kind of a combination of all those. So the control part was one. The out of control part was the economy at large and the capital markets and other people's decisions that I couldn't control. That was also driving us towards that hibernation.
And so did you spend time during that like developing like your product, and just sort of maintaining yourself?
No, I spent time trying to find a buyer, trying to find an investor, trying to find some kind of work that we could do that would pay the bills, trying to negotiate with people that wanted to get paid with money that we didn't have, all that kind of stuff. Just trying to survive, basically.